Hello crafters, Flavia here and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video I will be giving you a closer look at some of the sets released as part of Spellbinder's newest collection named Make It and Bake It by Tina Smith. This is simply an outstanding collection and I am so obsessed with these sets. I actually spent a whole weekend simply die cutting and assembling the pieces that we can cut out with some of the sets released as part of this collection, and this is definitely one of my favorite collections by Spellbinders. I simply cannot stop creating with these sets, and once I give you a closer look at each one of the sets that I have, you will understand why. Off camera, I created some note cards that I'm gonna show you just to make you feel inspired, and then later on this video we will create together a new note card featuring one of these die sets. So let's begin with this set over here. So this is a die set named Measure Mates, and it contains 26 cutting plates that we can use to cut out many different pieces that we can glue together to create a few baking essentials such as a scale, some measuring spoons over here, then we have some measuring cups, and we can also assemble a cookie jar. And I actually have some examples for you. So as I said at the beginning of this video, I actually spent a whole weekend die cutting these pieces and putting them together, and it was so much fun. I actually had to force myself to stop doing that so I could just move on and begin creating the actual note cards. But I must warn you, this is so addicting, and the pieces that we can create with all of these die sets are simply amazing. So here are some of the already cut out and assembled pieces that we can create. So here is one example for the scale, and here is the cookie jar that we can create with this die set, and here is one measuring cup. We can also cut out cookies, very small ones, and here are the measuring cups. You can separate the 3 different pieces if you want to, just like you would with a real one. So here is one example, and here are the die cut measuring spoons. So these are the pieces that we can create with this first die set. Here we have another outstanding die set, and this one is named Fluff, Frost and Roll. This one contains 17 metal plates, and aside from getting metal plates to cut out a few more essential tools for baking, down here we also have a sentiment die plate. So with this plate we can cut out a sentiment that reads hello, and we also have the shadow piece for the die cut sentiment that we can add to the sentiment if we want to. So here are the examples, the die cut examples that we can create with this die set, and I think it is adorable. We also have a die plate that we can use to cut out some flowers to embellish the note cards. The next die set is named Cool It Cookie Rack, and here is a closer look at the die plates included. So with this one we have die plates included that we can use to create a baking tray or a cookie rack, which is this one over here. And with these smaller plates down here we can create different shapes of cookies, and here down here we have a sentiment die plate that reads enjoy, and we also get the plate to cut out the shadow piece if we want to use that as well. And here again I have some die cut examples that I created using these plates over here. Okay, so for the cookie rack I cut out this piece using Spellbinder's Mirror Silver cardstock. Then I have this die cut here that is supposed to be the baking tray, and I also have some pieces that I cut out that are supposed to be cookies. So now let's move on to a stamp set actually. So Spellbinders also released a stamp set as part of the Make It and Bake It collection, and just as usual the stamp set contains really great sentiments and sometimes even funny that goes really well with this collection's theme. such as Give Me Some Sugar. We also have this one down here that reads You Count, Not Calories. Then we have this one over here that reads You Are My Better Half. And then we have a few more. Oh, this one is pretty good too. Sorry for the mix up. And it goes really well with a die set that I'm gonna show you next that contains an electric mixer. What else? This one is pretty good too, and I think I've used this one that reads Just Roll With It because it goes really well with this die cut over here. Moving on, by the way, even though I have a few more die sets to show you, note that Spellbinders also released an embossing folder as part of this collection, which is this one over here. And just as usual, this is a large embossing folder. It measures 8.5 by 5.5, I believe. And here I actually have some dry embossed panels to show you because I think it is just easier for you to see the patterns on the cardstock better than on the clear embossing folder. So these are just two panels that I dry embossed before recording this video. So this is the embossed side, and if we flip, we have the debossed side, which is awesome. You can use either side that you prefer. And again, the embossing folder, just like the sentiment, goes really well. It really complements the die sets released as part of this collection. So moving on, yeah, I only have two more die sets to show you, and here is a closer look at all of the 19 die cutting plates included in this set. And we also get another sentiment die plate that reads Sweet. And here are some of the examples, the already die cut and assembled pieces. Okay, so here is the large electric mixer, which is super cute, and I love the cord detail. And we also can cut out the sentiment Sweet, and you can choose whether or not to use the shadow for the die cut sentiment. And we can also add the cookie batter inside the bowl as well as over here. And we can also cut out these extra pieces so you can create different scenes for your note card. Moving on to the last die set, which by the way is the one that we're gonna use to make a note card today. This one is named Made with Love and contains 17 die cutting plates that we can use to create a sentiment that reads Made with Love. Then we have these plates down here that we can use to cut out cookies. Then we have this plate over here that we can use to create a set of oven mitts. And then we can use these plates over here to create cupcakes. This is my favorite, to create an apron with a bowl, and that's it. And here are just some of the die cut pieces that I cut out and assembled using these die plates. So here is one set. Here is the second set. What else? Oh, and I have this over here and the cookie. So with the set, we have a die plate to cut out flowers that we can use to decorate the note card. And I don't have an example for the cookies that I cut because I used them all. But here is an example of the sentiment that we can create with a die plate included in this die set. Here is a closer look at the oven mitts. I love these. And the large aprons, just perfect. So before we begin creating with this die set, I actually want to show you a few note cards that I created off screen. So let's begin with this one. So here is an example of the large die cut cookies that we can create with this die set. So this note card comes with a matching craft color envelope, and I used a few die cut pieces to decorate the flap of the envelope. So this is a fun shaped note card. Inside it is blank, and to cut out this fun shaped note card I used an old set by Spellbinders, which is this one over here. This die set was released as a subscription club last year, and I love using this set to cut out fun-shaped card bases. So that's what I used to cut this out, and notice that the background has a foiled pattern, and I created that with another set by Spellbinders. So this is the soft-hearted hot foil set by Spellbinders, and I think that this was also released as a subscription club. However, I think that this is still available. If it is, I will make sure to list everything in the description box down below so you can check it out later. So that's what I used along with opal foil to add some sparkle to this background. And I decided to stamp and die cut a sentiment strip that reads, "Wishing you a great birthday." So to decorate this note card, I chose to add a set of oven mitts on top, slightly over a cookie rack, and I added 6 die-cut cookies. To adhere each oven mitt on each side of this panel, I used foam adhesive just so it would have a little bit of dimension, and I did go over the die-cut hearts with a shimmer pen for some extra sparkle. Usually I add embellishments to my note cards. However, because these die cuts are so cute, I actually did not find the need of adding embellishment to either one of these note cards, because I really think that just these very cute die cut elements are more than enough. So here is a second note card. Again, it has a craft color envelope, and I added a die cut element to the flap of the envelope to match the theme of the note card that goes inside. Just as the previous one, this one is also a fun-shaped note card, and I also hot foiled the background using this same hot foil plate. And here is a closer look. This one has a stamped and die-cut sentiment that reads, "You bake the world better." And for this one, I decided to use a die-cut electric mixer that I cut out from different shades of purple cardstock. And to cut out these flowers over here, I used a set by Spellbinders that is not part of this collection. This is the die of the month for January 2026, which is also amazing. And it contains many different plates to cut out different types of flowers, and I am really obsessed with this one. I have been using this one a lot to decorate the note cards that I have been creating lately. Moving on to the next note card. This one has a blue front panel. It also has that same fun-shaped card base. Here is the envelope, the matching envelope. And for this one, I decided to use the die-cut cookie jar with some cookies inside and some spoons and spatulas in the background, along with a few cupcakes over here. And again, I added some flowers just for fun. And on the top, we have another stamped and die-cut sentiment that reads, "You bake the world better." So that's that for the third note card. And here is the fourth one. Here is the matching envelope, and here is another fun-shaped card base. This one has a stamped sentiment inside that reads, "You count, not calories." And at the front we have a food scale with some cookies on it and a die-cut sentiment that reads, "Made with love." I also used die plates included in this collection to cut out these flowers, and then to cut out these 2 sets of branches with flowers, I used the other set released as a subscription club. So here is a closer look, and I actually added some embellishments in the center of the flowers, but that's it for this note card. I really am obsessed with these die cuts and these beautiful colors of cardstock by Spellbinders, and again, I am not feeling the need at all to add embellishments to these note cards, even though I love doing so. I am just really content with the final result. Moving on. Oh yeah, so for the last 2 note cards, I actually have 5x7 note cards to share with you. All of these other ones, they are A2 size, and here are the 2 5x7 note cards. These, I decided to just use white A7 size envelopes, and I added some cardstock strips and die-cut elements to decorate the flap of the envelope and make each one match the note card that goes inside. So for this first one, I decided to use the embossing folder to add some texture to the background, and I decided to add a baking tray with some cookies on it, and then the die cut sentiment hello. We also have some flowers up here and a die cut and stamped sentiment down here that reads just roll with it. Then over here is another note card, and I love this apron so much that I actually want to make another note card today similar to this one, using the apron die cut. So this one has lots of die cut elements from many different sets from this collection. So here we have a couple of flowers, a set of oven mitts, cupcake, cookies inside the apron, and a stamped sentiment that reads wishing you a great birthday. So these are all of the note cards that I created, featuring all of the sets included in the Spellbinder's newest collection. So now, because I just can't get enough of this collection, let's create a new note card. So here I have a 5x7 card base, and I like to begin by adding 2 slightly smaller panels inside just to make it feel heavier so it stands nicely on display. However, you can definitely skip this step if you want to, especially because it might cost you extra postage if mailing this note card. To adhere these panels, I'm using strong liquid glue, and once that is done, I'm gonna close this and add a blue panel, a slightly smaller blue panel that I cut from Spellbinder's cardstock in the color Malibu. I'm gonna try to center this panel as best as I can. I cut it a little bit smaller than the 5x7 note card, so I could have this nice white trim around my blue panel. So the next step is to play with the placement of the die cuts. So off screen, as you know, I cut out lots of pieces. So here are all of the die cuts that I think I'm gonna need. I cut out this extra piece for the apron because I think I want to tuck in some die cut cookies just for fun, and then I will later glue this one on top. I also have some die cut flowers that I think I want to add. So for now, I'm just gonna play around with the placement. Actually, before I do all of that, I'm gonna go ahead and stamp the sentiment because I do know that I want to stamp the sentiment on the top right corner. To do so, I'm gonna place this note card inside my Misty stamping tool on the bottom right corner. I'm gonna use this magnet to hold my note card in place, and I'm gonna stamp this birthday sentiment because I think I want to make another birthday note card with these die cut elements. I'm gonna close the door to pick up the stamp, and I'm gonna use black pigment ink to stamp the sentiment. I'm gonna close it down and press it gently. Then I'm gonna add some more ink and a little bit more. I think that's good. Now I can begin playing around with these die cut pieces and try to figure out the best placement for each piece. So I think I like the placement of most of these pieces, so I'm just gonna begin gluing them down in place with liquid glue. So I'm gonna begin with the kitchen dough roller. I'm gonna use liquid glue in the back of this one, and I am going to adhere this one on the bottom right corner of my A7 size note card. I'm gonna use this magnet to hold it down in place as the glue dries. I am also 100% sure about the placement of the apron, which is on a diagonal on the left side of my note card. So I'm just gonna go ahead and glue this one down in place as well. So this one's gonna go like this. And using a clean cloth that doesn't really look clean because it is stained, I am going to wipe off the excess glue that is oozing out. I'm gonna add some few more magnets down here to hold this die cut down in place as the glue dries, and glue the next piece, which is gonna be one flower over here. So I'm gonna begin by gluing the leaves to the flower, and then using a pair of self-lock tweezers, I'm gonna flip this die cut so I can apply liquid glue in the back, and then I am going to adhere this one over here on the bottom left corner of my A7 size note card. I'm gonna place one magnet back over here to hold this die cut down in place. Then I'm gonna move on to these pieces over here. So for this one, I know that I want the cupcake right over this dough roller, right in the center. And I think I'm gonna later adhere the set of oven mitts like so. So I'm gonna begin by applying liquid glue in the back of this die cut cupcake, and then I'm gonna place this magnet over the die cut piece as the glue dries. And then the next step is gonna be to add some foam adhesive in the back of these die cuts because I want it to have some dimension. However, if you don't want the extra dimension, you can definitely just use liquid glue to adhere these die cuts in place. So now I'm gonna remove the release paper from the foam adhesive and adhere one piece on this side and this second one on the other side of the cupcake. Now I think I'm gonna begin by adhering this branch to this large white flower. Then I'm gonna add some green leaves die cuts, and I think it looks good. So we're gonna apply liquid glue in the back of all of these die cut pieces, and this one is gonna go over here next to the set of oven mitts. Gonna add my magnet to hold it down in place. Then I'm gonna add another set of die cut leaves to this other white flower, and this one's gonna go over here. So as the glue dries, I'm gonna grab some yellow flat back beads. So I have a couple of different sizes. I got this from Amazon, and I think I'm gonna go with the largest size. I barely use the large size, but since these are large flowers, I'm gonna use the large yellow beads this time. So I'm gonna apply a little bit of glue in the center of this flower over here, and using a wax pencil, I'm gonna pick up the yellow bead and adhere it right in the center. And I'm gonna do the same thing for these other two large flowers up here. Last but not least, I'm gonna add some cookies inside this apron pocket. I'm gonna actually begin by adhering one large die cut piece right in the center, and then instead of using two different ones, I'm just gonna cut one in half, since only half of the die cut cookie is gonna show, and I'm just gonna glue each half like so, overlapping each other. So I'm gonna add one to the left side and then the other half on the right side. Then I'm gonna use this magnet to hold everything down in place as the glue dries. Now I'm gonna add the other die cut piece on top that is supposed to be the pocket for this apron. And that's gonna make it look like the cookies are kind of sticking out of the pocket. Again, I'm gonna use these magnets to hold it down in place as the glue dries. So now to decorate the envelope, the white envelope, I'm gonna begin by adding a thin cardstock strip that I cut out from a piece of blue cardstock, same cardstock as the one that I used for the front of my note card. Once the glue is dry, I can trim off the excess that is hanging off of my envelope. And then as a final touch, I'm gonna add a pink die cut flower right in the center over this cardstock strip. And just like that, we are all done. So this completes this video, and I hope you enjoyed watching and felt inspired to create. If you're interested in any of the products used in this video, make sure to check it out in the description box down below. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Take care, and I hope to see you again soon.